Hi. Come on, everybody. Let some people get up in here. Hey, Bob. Can you hear me? Oh. I'm good. How are you? What's up, Chris? It's not 900 degrees outside. Just in one ear and out the other, Chris. My shoulder's still a little bit sore, Bob. You got the flu. That's not cool. Runny nose. Better go catch it. All right. So while we're waiting for people to get in here, what do you two think is the worst thing about working on vehicles, mainly trucks? Okay, I posted it in Discord too, but go ahead. No, not under serviced. It's a good guess though. This, what I'm about to share with you, actually happened to me Friday. Not the size, not the parts. Believe it or not, the parts aren't really that heavy. I know you guys got more guesses. Did y'all see that bird? Oh, that's a bat. Never mind. Not the attitude of the owners. Well, no, that's not the attitude of the owners. Not the recall. What'd you retract your message for? Yeah, there's a few bats flying around. They always come out. About 30 minutes ago is when they started coming out. It's not the parts on the vehicle. It's not the tire size. Meant to type the parts on back order. No, I mean that's cars too. This is like a pet peeve of mine. Besides the car being dirty, I'm gonna walk over to this truck, my neighbor's truck, and show you. First, I'll show you on my truck, and then I'll walk over there and show you on his. You guys ready for this? No, man, we don't get a lot of rust down here. Rust, that's a you guys thing. You guys can keep that. All right. That daggone bat again. The trucks that tend to be super dirty. No. See that damn thing right there? The tow hitch? Mine don't have a ball in it. You know why there's no ball in it? Because I'm not pulling a trailer. He's got a ball in his, and he's not pulling a trailer. Do you know why that annoys me? If you're not pulling a trailer, why do you have a ball on it? Maybe so you don't forget if you're pulling a trailer later? Okay. Friday, we were putting the transmission back in that Ranger, and there was a little bracket that one of the other technicians had took off, or taken off. The ball's not fun to sit on. Dude, I can walk around those things all day and not hit my shins on them. I learned to look out for them while they're on the ground. The technician that had took that bracket off was behind the truck outside my bay door. And so I was underneath the truck, and I turned around to go ask him a question. Hey, dude, where are the bolts for this bracket? And I ducked underneath the rear end and stood up and smacked right on the bottom of that tow hitch where the nut screws onto the ball. It hurt. The look on his face was like, dude, are you okay? The truck is rocking. Can't stand it. It's like I dug down and literally stood up. Yeah, it's a shin stopper. I've hit my shins so many times, I literally stop. Ew, check this out. You can kind of still see it. That circle. Kind of a knot. It hurt. It didn't really start hurting until like the next day. Which would be Saturday. Tow hitches. Why? Why do you have a tow hitch if you're not pulling a trailer? Like, my neighbor over here never has a trailer hooked up to that, ever. I mean, I have a ball for mine, but it's underneath my back seat. If I'm going to go get a trailer, I'll put the ball on when I go get the trailer. Like when I'm in front of the trailer. To get me mad. It didn't really make me mad. It kind of like 4x4 trucks with 24-inch rims that don't pull a trailer. It literally hurt. Like, hey, trouble. Like, there's a knot. You guys can kind of still see the bruise. It hurt. But Matt, the guy's name is Matt, he was more concerned, like, dude, are you okay? He was waiting for me to just, like, fall out. The only other time I've ever done that, I did knock myself out. I was an 18-wheeler mechanic at a family shop, and they had the big drive-on lift where you can fit the, the tractor portion of it up there, and my best friend was doing an oil service on it, and it was up in the air. And I walked over to him to tell him it was lunchtime, and I ducked down to walk underneath it to go see if he was almost done, and I was literally about 3 or 4 feet away from him, and I thought I was under the truck, and you can stand up underneath it, and I stood up and smacked the back of my head on the ramp and hit the ground, and he woke me up with one of those like ammonia tablets. The whole 18-wheeler tractor, the tractor was just rocking back and forth like this. He said it sounded like a gong. I was playing football one time and this idiot hit me with his forehead in the side of my head. This has been 10 years ago and it still bothers me when I wear a helmet. Yeah. I did that playing football. I was 10, 12 years old, me and my buddy Brandon. Brandon was a really hard hitter. For some reason they had me on defense and he was on offense. And we both came around the corner and hit. We didn't see each other. We hit head on like that. They said that we hit and just fell. I'm pretty sure I've had some concussions over the few years. It's just, after you hit your head like that, just don't go to sleep for a few hours. But like, so I'm walking and I stood up and I hit it. I was like, pink. Oh. Like holding my head like this. And it was the bottom part of the ball where the nut screws onto it to hold it onto the hitch. I'm gonna start putting like a cone on the end of it, like I used to do when I worked on police cars, working on the like the city parks and recreation trucks. I'd put a cone on the tow hitch so people wouldn't hit it. Yeah, I need something. I need to stop hitting my head. I hit it on the lift arms at least 4 times. So, what's your guys' worst? I used to box in high school, took a head injury so bad that I'm partially blind in my right eye and almost fully deaf in my left ear. Some Mike Tyson shit right there. I was going to town on the speed bag and a 12-pound piece of steel fell and hit me on the head. I thought my training partner took a bat to me. Worst concussion on my head of many. Oh man, I bet that did hurt. I watched my cousin knock himself out with a wrench, working on an 18-wheeler on the rear end, pulling the wrench like this and smack right across like this. It's one of those like you kind of laugh and like, are you okay? Until they hit the ground and you're like, oh, okay, they're not okay. Laugh about it many years later. What's the worst part of you guys think working on trucks? Slipped on the sidewalk, fell backward, hit my head. Being scared of one falling on you. That actually happens, dude. Like, there was a guy that worked at, I think it was a BMW overseas, and the car started to fall off the lift. There's a huge mosquito on my screen. And he tried to, like, push it up to hold it, and it fell on him and crushed him. Ugh. You guys ever lawn chaired? You know what a lawn chair is? Where you land on your back and your feet come down and then touch the ground behind your head? Or if you scorpion, where you fall face first and your feet come over your back? Being a technician is actually a pretty dangerous job. It's one of the dangerous jobs. I mean, you got a 6,000-pound vehicle up in the air on top of you, being held by two metal locks. If the hydraulic system fails, the locks catch it. But what if the locks fail? Rule of thumb: if it starts to rock and go, let it go. You're not going to hold it up. You're not going to keep it from falling. Yeah, the cable's on there. Had a police car. When we're going on police cars, the girl that did the oil change on it raised it up. Everything was fine. Coming back down, one of the cables broke, and the whole car was sitting sideways. Lisa, you ever seen a car fall off a lift when you worked at a dealer? I watched the F-150 get dropped back in 2015. Scott, he's in the live stream sometimes talking. He dropped a 2014 F-150. That might have been what it was, not a BMW. I think it was a Bentley, where it crushed him, it killed him. There's another guy that I work with. His name's James. He lives in like North Dakota now. He used to work at another dealership, and one fell forward on the lift, and he ducked down. Yeah, I think you're talking about trouble. He ducked down, and the top of the truck had caught the top of the lift, and he looks, and there's a grill. He's between a grill and his toolbox. Lift arm shot out from under a 900. Everyone in the shop held the car up so the arm could get put back in place. Tech got fired. Yeah, you gotta let it go, man. Cars are replaceable. Human life is not. I'm sorry, but if I got a car about to fall off the lift, the floor is going to catch it, not me. It happens. $2 million car made out of plastic goes 200 miles an hour. Kills you in a high-speed chase. The $500 rust bucket that's barely being held together. Drive it around day after day. Yeah, see, it happens a lot. People get crushed all the time. I've lifted them up before, and I'll usually do the rock test, make sure it's fine, and I'll get it like 3/4 of the way up, and I'll see that one of the arms isn't positioned right. I'm like, how did that fail? fail the rock test, and I'll lower it back down and readjust. Or you do the rock test and you hear it clanking, clanking, and people are, oh, it's just settling. No, it's not just settling. It's not being lifted up properly. Yeah, but you can imagine, I walked under the rear end this way, under the spare tire, and the tow hitch was sticking out, and I smacked it right here. I rock test everything too. I've had them slide. Me and that dude, James, that I was talking about, I think we were doing headers, Cook's headers on a Mustang. And on that one, you had to drop the K member. I think it was a 15 or 16. You had to drop the K member, or he might have been just doing a service on it. But I remember standing underneath the vehicle and it kept creaking. Like, I ain't supposed to do that, man. You look over, driver front, I could put my hand in between the lift arm and the bottom of the car. So it was only balanced on 3 arms. Yeah, I'll raise it about 4 or 5 inches and rock test it. If it's gonna fall, 4 or 5 inches is better than 6 or 8 feet. At least you had a stand under it. Because some people I know, I can't say his name, but his initials are Scotty Kilmer, said that you don't need jack stands. I wish I was recording when I hit my head. That would have been a good one. That would have been a good blooper. I do the same thing. I will put the wheels up underneath the pinch weld or something if I'm like doing brakes or something. It's gonna fall, let it fall in the tire. It did make me nauseous a little bit. I had a headache for the rest of the day. And at that point, it was just like, I just want to go home now. And that was like 1, 2 o'clock in the afternoon when that happened. All right, so there's my story. That's what I think is the biggest pet peeve besides a dirty car, or what I think is the worst thing about working on trucks. You can probably put SUV in there too, because they tow things. I appreciate you guys stopping by. I got to get inside. I'm going to play with the kids for a little bit. In auto school, kid got off under the car and it fell off the jack stands. It happens more often than not. Well, see, You know that phrase, seeing stars? It's true. You really do see stars. When I hit that hitch, man, I was like, oh, you see like little fuzzies and stars going by. I have a safety cone in my toolbox. It's a collapsible one with a little light on it. One of the police officers gave it to me. You see all like, you see like the colored stars going around in circles like in a cartoon. Your vision gets kind of fuzzy. That's what happened. And then I got nauseous. I mean, I have my cone. I don't know about everybody else. It's a good safety thing, especially if you got it on the ground. People walk behind it all the time, smack their shins on it. Seeing birds. Yeah. But I appreciate you guys tuning in. That's just, I wanted you guys to know that I hit my head pretty hard Friday. I'm okay though. Some more videos to come for you tomorrow. You guys are nuts. I love every one of you guys. Yeah, I'm good. Now all these nighttime bugs are coming out. I didn't really feel like moving much yesterday, but I did. You too, Lisa. Give me a call tomorrow. I will see you guys on the next one. Love you all.